evaluation of the teaching and learning of the three major Nigerian languages. That is evaluation of the teaching and learning of Hausa language, Igbo language, and Yoruba language. Evaluation refers to tests, measurement, and assessment of teaching and learning outcomes in educational studies. It is a very important feedback mechanism that measures effective teaching on the learners and learning effectiveness or learning outcomes. It is evaluation that helps us to know how far learning has taken place in the pupils. In evaluation, the content of the curriculum are examined. That is, evaluation has to do with assessing learners' outcome, learners' knowledge, assessing learning outcomes. It is in evaluation that the degree of student achievement and proficiency is established. When we talk of evaluation, an important part of evaluation is psychometrics. Psychometrics refer to psychological measurements. It refers to the specialist field within psychology and education, which is devoted to testing, measurement, assessment, and other related activities. So, psychometric of learning is most important contribution to of educational psychology to evaluation and evaluation techniques, like I've just said. It is essentially a test of mental ability of the pupils or of the students, expressed in numbers quantitatively, either as quotient or in aptitude scores. In language learning, attempts have been made to develop different aptitude tests, which are developed to test language proficiency. There are 5 variables in evaluation, and these are social context, learning characteristics, learning condition, learning process, and learning outcomes. These are very, very important when we talk of evaluation in language learning. These variables are integrated. They work together. Social context, learner's characteristics, and learning condition have bearing on learning process and learning outcomes. You can see that they are really, really integrated because they need one another to bring out the expectation on evaluation. So evaluation is integral to educational philosophy and underlying psychology of teaching and learning outcomes. The need of assessing the outcome of learning, that was what led to the development of test achievement and proficiency. When you want to assess how far learning has taken place in learners, then there is need to develop tests of achievement and proficiency. Like I said the other time, I said there are different tests of achievement and proficiency in language learning. So evaluation, which also encompasses assessing and testing of learning outcomes, that is, assessing and testing of learners, is the ultimate in all teaching and learning situations. When we teach, the ultimate is to know how far learning has taken place in students. And the only way to look to get this is through evaluation. So evaluation may be done through psychometric tests, such as intelligence quotients, such as language aptitude tests, through multiple choice tests, and through essay testing. That is, in language learning, evaluation can be done through psychometric tests. An example of psychometric tests are intelligence quotient, language aptitude tests, multiple choice tests, and essay testing. Usually the commonest we use is the multiple choice as well as the essay. The evaluation has two parts. Evaluation has two parts. The two parts are the curriculum-based evaluation and non-cognitive aspect of evaluation. Another name for curriculum-based evaluation is cognitive-based evaluation. When we talk of curriculum-based evaluation, it talks about cognitive evaluation, measuring teaching and learning outcome through the cognitive process. The expected effectiveness of change in behavior of the learning following instructional section. That is, the student has been exposed to different teaching instructional sections. We now want to test how far is learning taking place in the students. And when we want to carry out this, we make use of curriculum-based evaluation. There is a curriculum in which we use to teach the students. So we now want to test the students. How far of what we have taught the students, how far has it been in the students? And this is what we refer to as curriculum-based. Another name for it is cognitive-based evaluation. And we said it's cognitive evaluation that measure teaching and learning outcomes as expected based on the instructional sections that the student has been exposed to. So we test the intelligence of the student, we test thinking, we test reasoning, we test remembering, and some other parts of the cognitive aspect of what the student has been exposed to. The second one is non-cognitive aspect of evaluation. This involves intellectual, but not directly with cognitive. It is less conscious than cognitive, and they are appropriately based. For example of non-cognitive include individual personality, attitude, temperament, motivation, self-efficacy, efforts. These cannot be tested by the student holding biro and asking questions on them, but it can be shown through individual personality, through the child's personality, through the child's temperament, through the child's attitude. And that is why at times when report is being given, we give information on cognitive and also on non-cognitive. So both cognitive and non-cognitive are important to student achievement, both in class and outside the class. They give complete picture of the student. The cognitive will give the academic aspect of the student, while non-cognitive will give non-academic part of the student in terms of his attitude, his temperament, motivation, does he blend with others, does he tolerate others, and so on and so forth. When we talk of subjective essay type, example include essay question where the student is given the opportunity to express himself or herself using his own words, using his own choice of words. While objective, there are questions and there are answers in which the students are expected to pick their choice of answer from. We'll still go to this later. The evaluation of language learning potential, that is IQ and language aptitude tests, means they are means of evaluating language learning potentials. These are very, very essential prognostic in nature. When we say prognostic in nature, ability to predict, that is when questions are given to students to test their knowledge about that thing, so that we will be able to know what they know and we'll be able to start from what they know. They tell you how well or how mentally equipped the students are and how prepared they are to learn the language. The equipping of individual or group of individual is a scope of several other factors. That is when you want to know their prognostic preparedness. That is how prepared they are. It's in various several factors. These factors include consideration of the age, the gender, the aptitude, socioeconomic background, the learning environment, motivation, and so on. All these also are very important while we are equipping individual when we are preparing them for prognostic evaluation. So evaluation is to assess how well or how successful an expected change in behavior has taken place. How successful is the learning outcome? Have you really understood what you are expected to get from what you have been taught? So evaluation of learning outcome must take cognizance of the underlying language teaching theories, interpretation of learners' characteristics, as well as learning that can be used are some of the IQ and aptitude language tests that the language is compulsory according to is precondition in national language policy. So learning these languages is official and it is an integral part of Nigeria educational system. It is part of our system. It is compulsory. Apart from the mother tongue, the child is also expected to learn one out of the remaining two languages. So evaluating them will have to proceed in the course of all second language learning. So evaluating them, we have to proceed in the course. So that is to tell us that as teachers, when we are teaching second language, we teach them, we teach students so that they will be able to carry out activities in the language using the four communication skills. That is, when we want to teach them, after teaching them, we should examine them in the listening skill, in the speaking skill, in the in the reading skill, as well as in the writing skills. So when we do this, we are making them to have good control and good proficiency in the language. And so we shouldn't limit the learning of the language to reading and writing alone. No, should go the learning of the language should go beyond reading and writing. The student should be able to listen to the language and the student should be able to speak the language. With this, we bring this to an end. So we meet again